Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, my dear devotees. Before I read about the grand opening of the Juhu temple, I'll read about how Shri Shri Radha Rasa Bihari got their name. Although our deities had been in Juhu for more than 2 years, they did not yet have a specific name. One day I mentioned this to a few devotees, and they encouraged me to bring up the topic with Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, I requested, can you name our deities? Yes, he replied. What about Radha Madan Mohan? Srila Prabhupada, the deities in Hyderabad are already called Madan Mohan. Then what about Radha Govinda? Srila Prabhupada, the deities in New York are called Radha Govinda. Prabhupada paused thoughtfully, considering. What about Radha Rasa Bihari? Is that all right? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. And smiling in bliss, I paid my obeisances and left. Later, as I was going back over the exchange, I thought about how in Vrindavan, the 3 principal deities were Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopinath. Corresponding to Sambandha, that means establishing a relationship, Abhideya, acting in our relationship, and Prayojana, the ultimate goal. And in our discussion, we had gone from Madan Mohan to Govinda to Rasa Bihari, the enjoyer of the rasa dance, Prayojana, the goal. So now, Chapter 5, Opening the Temple, a Promise Fulfilled. December 1977 to January 1978. Naratamananda is mentioned here. In Vrindavan, Prabhupada had instructed us to organize the temple opening the way Maharaj Yudhishthir had organized the Rajasuya sacrifice with a prominent person in charge of each department. As stated in the Krishna book, King Yudhishthir arranged to perform the Rajasuya sacrifice. He invited all the qualified Brahmins and sages to take part and appointed them to different positions as priests in charge of the sacrificial arena. Devotees came for the opening from around the world. Rameshwar, as the trustee for the North American BBT, based in Los Angeles, gave Mukunda, now Mukunda Goswami, $3,000 and free rein to promote the event. So, using the money he gave me, Mukunda recalled, I took a flight from Los Angeles to New York, and I went to a street-side copy shop on 6th Avenue and made printouts of all the slides I had of the Juhu temple, some of which were truly magnificent. Then I took an Air India flight to New Delhi and got a list of all the foreign media located there. My first stop was the Los Angeles Times. I arrived about 15 minutes later than my appointed time. The woman, who was the bureau chief, was wearing tennis shoes and was angry that I was late because she said that I would make her late for her tennis match. So I left her the printouts of the Juhu temple and moved on. At the office of the New York Times, the bureau chief was very friendly and had a copy of the Macmillan edition of Bhagavad Gita as it is on his bookshelf. I then visited a few more people, including some Australian media and the ABC television bureau chiefs, and I left printouts of the Juhu temple with all of them. Well, as it is, the grand opening event was covered very well in the media. There was a large article in the New York Times, the most prestigious newspaper in the United States. And there was a full-page article with color photos, and in those days, color photos were not so common. Only a few pages in the magazine would have color photos. There was a full-page article in Newsweek magazine about the opening of the temple with some color photos. And there was one of Srila Prabhupada, the diorama of Srila Prabhupada standing under the tree in Tompkins Square Park. And they gave the caption, "From Rags to Riches." In addition to making all the preparations for the grand opening ceremonies, we also had to arrange for the functioning of the project after it opened. Michael Lord, who for a decade had managed London's historic and prestigious Carlton Club, arrived to oversee the restaurant, which would serve continental and Indian-style vegetarian dishes, all offered to the Lord before being relished as prasad. Jagat Purush had always done what was necessary for the project, from cooking to deity worship to life membership. He had a flair and a passion for Krishna-conscious theatrical performances, and he would take charge of the Bhaktivedanta auditorium. Narottamananda, who had a fine artistic sensibility and had served as a pujari in Vrindavan, came to be the head pujari and set up the expanded deity program as he had done in Vrindavan. As per Srila Prabhupada's instructions, the installation of the deities was performed by a combination of Brahmins and Prabhupada's disciples. There was one procedure for installing the new deities and one for moving the already installed deities of Shri Shri Radharasa Bihari to their new location. Different senior devotees sat with different small Utsav deities. Interviewing me for the Back to Godhead article, Dravida, there's two Dravidas, but this is the Dravida who's the editor. Dravida asked if I could tell how I got involved in the Bombay project. I replied, in March of 1972, Srila Prabhupada asked me to take charge. This was 1 month after we had gotten possession of this land at Juhu Beach. At first, we were living in a hut. It was really difficult, but eventually we built an additional floor on top of some apartment buildings that were already on the land, and we moved up there. And that was accomplished through Sri P.L. Seti, Srila Prabhupada's staunch devotee. From the beginning, Srila Prabhupada emphasized that the project was for spreading Krishna consciousness. Dravida asked, what were some of the highlights of those early days? Quote, as soon as we got possession of the land, which we named Hare Krishna land, there's also a story about how the land got its name, Hare Krishna land. Srila Prabhupada was on a morning walk with several disciples at Juhu Beach, and one of them, Madhuvisa Prabhu, said, there's so many lands, such as Disneyland, so why don't we have Hare Krishna land? And Srila Prabhupada approved of the idea, and thus, upon Madhuvisa Prabhu's suggestion, the land got its name. As soon as we got possession of the land, which we named Hare Krishna land, Srila Prabhupada had us put up a pandal and hold a big Hare Krishna festival. We brought the deities, Radharasa Bihariji, from our temple in the city, and every night hundreds of people came to hear Srila Prabhupada speak and to chant Hare Krishna with us and take in a Krishna conscious drama or musical performance. It was then that we started seeing how right Prabhupada had been in making Juhu Beach the site for a temple and cultural center. What does the future hold for the new cultural center? Do you have plans for more construction? Yes. Srila Prabhupada wanted us to construct one more large building, 6 stories, that would include a children's school, a diorama museum, a retirement home, and a book warehouse. We could hardly sleep for nights before the grand opening. There was so much to do, and we were so excited. Many devotees had participated in the effort, and I began to notice that some of our leaders preferred to work with or accommodate only their friends. Tamal Krishna commented that we had entered a new era. During Prabhupada's time, we had all worked together for his pleasure. Now, many devotees would return to their home countries and cities to be in places where and among people with whom, based on their conditioning, they felt more comfortable. Still, generally everyone had cooperated nicely and worked hard to publicize and organize the event. Finally, the big day arrived. Saturday, Makara Sankranti, January 14th, 1978, exactly 2 months after Srila Prabhupada's disappearance. Visitors started streaming through the gates from early in the morning, and our loyal supporters, who had stood by Prabhupada and the devotees through thick and thin, throughout all the years of struggle against so much opposition, were there to relish the triumphant occasion. Altogether, 15,000 people attended the inaugural function. The temple was decorated with elaborate flower arrangements, including festoons of marigolds strung from the large chandelier hanging from the center of the ceiling of the Darshan mandap to the pillars and balconies at the perimeter of the hall. And next I describe the momentous occasion when the doors to the deities were opened and their forms were revealed, and we had the first arti. But before that, I have to make a little stop to the men's room, and I'll be right back. In the meantime, chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kartal Mridanga, get Kartal Mridanga. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Bhagavad Gita.
The temple was decorated with elaborate flower arrangements, including festoons of marigolds strung from the large chandelier hanging from the center of the temple of the Darshan mandap to the pillars and balconies in the perimeter. When the conch shells sounded and the doors opened to reveal the deities in their new home, the devotees were overwhelmed with joy. Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he was one of the early devotees here. He's now in our community in Alachua, Florida. Rasa Bihari had such a big smile, Pundarik Vidyanidhi remembered. That was one time when I saw that the deity was really alive. He had such a big smile on his face when the doors opened. A row of ornate chairs, like thrones, had been arranged for the special guests. Sri Vasant Dada Patil, Chief Minister of Maharashtra. To his left, Sri Prabhudas Patwari, Governor of Tamil Nadu. And to his left, Sri Raj Narayan, Union Minister of Health and Family Welfare. To his left was Tamal Krishna, and to the Chief Minister's right was Sri Dharam Singh Dadubai Desai, Member of Parliament. So this Sri Didi Desai was the father of Dr. N.D. Desai, who was later initiated as Srinathji Das, who, did a lot of service. Late Srinathji Das. To his left was Tamal Krishna, and to the Chief Minister's right was Sri Dharamsi Dadubai Desai, Member of Parliament. I sat on his right at the end of the row. My heart was pounding with excitement. Scenes from the years of struggles flashed through my mind, and now it was actually happening. Sri Sri Radha Rasa Bihari's new temple was about to open. How I wished Srila Prabhupada could have been personally present to relish the occasion and to bless the honored guests, the throngs of visitors, and his disciples who had labored so long and hard to bring us to this stage with his divine instructions. But Krishna had another plan. We were to experience Prabhupada's presence even in separation and assume the responsibilities for which he had so carefully and patiently trained us all those years. I prayed that everything would go well, that there wouldn't be any mishaps or missteps, and that in my nervousness I wouldn't balk, B-A-L-K, that means hesitate, or bungle anything. And as we had realized so vividly when we were trying to leave Vrindavan for Calcutta and Mayapur, I knew that at every step I was completely dependent on Srila Prabhupada's mercy. I had arranged for a framed painting of Srinathji to be installed to appeal to his followers, who were mainly Gujaratis. That's there, Srinathji. And I gave the honor of unveiling the painting to Sri Didi Desai, who had helped us in many ways. In his talk, Chief Minister Patil said that all people should follow Lord Krishna's advice in the Bhagavad Gita for eternal peace and happiness. Raj Narayan spoke in appreciation of the devotees, saying, "It is amazing to me that now Westerners have taken to the Indian culture just when we are losing it." Governor Patwari spoke extensively about the temple's universal value and appeal. Quote, "I deem it a blessing to be associated with this solemn function. The Krishna consciousness movement is a divine spark, a movement which is meant to give peace and happiness to millions of people all over the world. So I welcome the construction of this temple and the opening of the Bhaktivedanta Center of Vedic culture in this great cosmopolitan city of Bombay, where people of all races, nationalities, castes, and communities, high and low, live in amity. I have no doubt that this Vedic institution will proclaim to the world that here flourishes a great movement which has become the symbol of eternal religion, Sanatan Dharma." Let us, on this occasion, make a solemn resolve to strengthen the Krishna consciousness movement by untiringly spreading the teachings of Lord Krishna through many languages to all people and in all nooks and corners of the world. In this way, by our genuine devotion to Krishna and by our austerities, we may create an international climate of peace and happiness and lay the foundation for a religious order acceptable to all on the basis of universal love and brotherhood. May we chant Hare Krishna, Jai Sri Krishna, to purify our hearts and minds, and may Lord Krishna shower his blessings on humanity and make our humble endeavors a success. The next day, Sunday, we had a massive Harinam Sankirtan on Juhu Beach with hundreds of devotees, many carrying orange flags that blew in the wind, with a framed photo and small brass deity of Srila Prabhupada in the front of the procession. There were even fireworks launched from coconut shells, making loud popping noises and flashes in the sky. One of the first-time visitors, where's Giri Govardhan? One of the first-time visitors, a lawyer, R.K. Maheshwari, later initiated as Mahaprabhu Das, later remembered hearing about the opening day. Quote, I was playing cards at Kar Gymkhana, a well-known club in this area, and all of a sudden I saw a newspaper with a full-page advertisement about the Hare Krishna temple opening that day. I thought, how much money do these people have? A full-page advertisement in the Times of India. Being a Marwari, I always thought of everything in terms of money. Then I decided, let me see what this place is, and I immediately drove to the Juhu temple. At the gate they asked me, have you got a pass or invitation card? Vaijanti Mala is giving a dance performance and the hall is booked. And Raj Narayan, union minister, and Patwari, governor, are coming for the inauguration. So there's a big crowd and only important people are invited today. Is this a temple or what? I asked. This is Mahaprabhu Das speaking. Well, today is inauguration day, the devotee replied. So I approached another devotee, an Indian, Ram Tulsi. He was telling a group of visitors that like a fish out of water in the material world, nobody is happy. You are searching happiness in the wrong atmosphere. The Gita has confirmed that this material world is dukkhalayam, a place of misery. The visitors were asking about the temple, why these foreigners were so much interested in Indian culture. We are having some doubts, one said, because when the British came to India, now most of the people here are American. They're coming in the guise of religion and teaching us our Sanatan Dharma. We cannot understand all this. We know Krishna very well. I heard that many times. You don't have to tell us about Krishna. Krishna's in our blood. But Ram Tulsi was speaking philosophically. If you want to be happy, he told them, connect yourself with Lord Krishna by chanting the holy name of the Lord. That is the connection. And if you chant the holy name of the Lord, whatever you may be, whatever situation, you will be blissful. I am not talking about ordinary happiness. You may be happy, you may not be happy. But blissful is something different. I cannot explain to you what is spiritual bliss. You have to experience. Then Mahaprabhu comments, so yes, that much I understood. I wanted to know more. I wanted to go inside. So I found some stairs, and I got to the second floor and saw the program. I spent the whole day in the temple, and the next day too, and I came regularly thereafter. I could see that these people were genuine, and I made up my mind that I wanted to get involved in their institution and become a life member. My membership card was signed by the temple president, Giriraj Das Brahmachari. I was keen to get his association, and once I met him, that changed the lifestyle of this practicing lawyer of the Bombay High Court. For me, that was a total change. I had been so much involved in material things that when my wife would go to a temple, I would sit in the car. I was never interested to go to any temple because my impression of temples was that they were all cheats, fooling people and making money, and not following any rules or regulations or properly guiding people, just making a business. But all that changed with my first visit to Hare Krishna land on the day of the grand opening. Poonam Thakur, the daughter of two of our early life members and supporters in Juhu, her parents were early supporters, and her mother eventually took initiation and ended up moving to Vrindavan and spending her last years in Vrindavan. So Poonam Thakur, the daughter of two of our early life members and supporters in Juhu, recalled, I remembered as a child being in the old temple and looking up at the tin roof and wondering, how come these beautiful Radha Krishna deities are in such a humble place? I had no idea of the struggles being endured by the devotees for the grand Juhu temple. A couple of years later, when I saw the temple after its opening, my eyes grew large in amazement and awe. What a magnificent temple for their lordships. Mukunda remembered, after the grand opening, I took a stroll down Juhu Road, thinking that Srila Prabhupada would be very pleased. I felt that somehow or other, even though he was no longer physically present, the movement was going on. Then Back to Godhead carried a large article. Two days after the opening, the New York Times ran an article on the front page of its second section with the headline, Hare Krishna sect displays vitality at its new $2 million temple in India. Juhu, India, January 15th. Several hundred members of the Hare Krishna sect, chanting and singing and clapping, opened a $2 million temple and cultural center here this weekend in a colorful festival of devotion. To the young American monks of the movement, the dedication of their sumptuous carved marble temple on the Arabian seacoast here, 10 miles north of Bombay, symbolized a kind of coming of age of the sect, which they hoped is becoming less controversial. Quote, we are gaining a broader base among the general public in both India and America, explained Tamal Krishna. This is the New York Times article. explained Tamal Krishna, a 32-year-old New Yorker who is a member of the organization's 23-member governing board. Quote, "We are learning that there is no way we are going to give Krishna consciousness a general appeal if we make everyone shave their heads and chant Hare Krishna all day long." Then the article continues. Like most leaders of the movement, Tamal Krishna, who was named Thomas Herzig when he was growing up on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, does have a shaved head, a saffron-colored flowing garment called a dhoti, and streaks of Ganges River mud on his forehead. Like all of them, he chants this mantra at least 1,728 times a day. That's how many mantras 16 rounds is. 1,728 times a day. Hare Krishna, it's nice, they quoted the whole Hare Krishna mantra in the newspaper. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The chant, which has been sung with stomping feet on hundreds of American street corners in the 12 years since the International Society for Krishna Consciousness started in New York, was the motif of the weekend here. Crowds shouted it to the beat of drums and cymbals as each statue of Krishna was anointed, as each of the huge teak and brass temple doors was opened, and as marigolds and bananas were laid in offering besides the silver-plated altars. But one difference between this celebration and the performances in the United States was reflected in the fact that India's health minister and other high government officials were among the speakers at the dedication ceremony, lending respectability. As a saffron-clad monk from Miami Beach put it, "When we come to India, we are coming home." Spiritualism is common to Indians, and several thousand of them visited the new temple here during the opening ceremonies, joining enthusiastically in the chant of homage to Krishna. By the time of his death 2 months ago, at the age of 81, Swami Prabhupada had built up a movement that had 10,000 full-time monks and an annual income, as present leaders say, of $16 million from the sale of its books, mostly the Swami's translations and interpretations of the ancient Vedic scriptures. The article carried 2 photos. Quote, "A young American follower gives Sanskrit discourse to Indian counterparts at festival." And the other with, quote, "Hare Krishna devotees chanting at dedication of their new temple in Juhu, India on Saturday," end quote. The January 30th edition of Newsweek carried nearly a full page about the opening, in color, a rare feature for the time, with the heading, "Krishna by the Sea." At the top of the page was an image of the diorama of Srila Prabhupada standing in Compton Square Park, next to a photo of the new temple and guest house with the caption, "Rags to Riches." Diorama of Swami teaching, $2 million complex. So here it's a little small, but here's that page in Newsweek magazine entitled "Krishna by the Sea." The Hare Krishna people, a term they use themselves. Yes, Yadav Prabhu produced a film called The Hare Krishna People. The Hare Krishna people, a term they use themselves, are reluctant to disclose the details of their finances. But it is known that they have at least a few very substantial donors, including George Harrison, the former Beatle, and Alfred Ford, a great-grandson of the founder of the Ford Motor Company and a nephew of Henry Ford II. So yes, George Harrison came here twice, and it was really very nice. He came when the temple was under construction, and I showed him around, and he was very encouraging. Then at 12:30, the conch shell blew in the small temple we had then, and so we went to the small temple for the arti. And George Harrison picked up an instrument, and he was singing and playing the instrument. And Puri Das, our dear Puri Das from Scotland, was doing the arti. And when he turned around and saw George Harrison, as he described it, his hand was shaking so much he had to struggle not to drop the ghee lamp. So then after the arti, I accompanied George Harrison to meet Srila Prabhupada in his room at the back. And I left the two of them. Then I went back to my office at the back, very back of the property. And then a pudgy 8-year-old boy, who was the son of two of our very good supporters in the Juhu scheme, Pranjivan Valia and his wife, Yasoda Valia, he came to my office and he said, "I heard George Harrison is here." I said, "Yes, he is." The boy said, "I want to see him." I said, "You can't. He's meeting with Srila Prabhupada." So the boy looked me in the eyes, sort of sized up the situation, concluded that he wasn't going to get any help from me, and he went bounding down the stairs to go to Srila Prabhupada's quarters. And I thought, oh no, he's going to go and interrupt the meeting. So then I followed him in hot pursuit. And meanwhile, he had gone up the stairs to Srila Prabhupada's apartment, and I was just a little behind him. And George Harrison was sitting with his back very erect. He was sitting just like a submissive disciple while Srila Prabhupada was speaking. But then the boy entered, and the meeting more or less ended. And I was a little upset, but Srila Prabhupada and George Harrison didn't seem to mind. Maybe they took it as Krishna's arrangement. And so, George offered obeisances and left. And earlier, when we were in the temple, small temple, he said that when your project opens, I want to come back and stay here. So he left, and then a few months later, when Srila Prabhupada was in Sanand, Gujarat, he recalled his meeting with George Harrison at Hare Krishna land. And he said, he's a very nice boy. He's keeping Jagannath in his bead bag and chanting Hare Krishna. So, yeah. I mean, you know, I go to many places and preach about Krishna consciousness, but a certain class of people, when they hear that George Harrison took interest, and he was practically a devotee. I mean, he asked Srila Prabhupada if he should shave his head and move into the temple. But Srila Prabhupada said, no, you remain a Beatle and you write songs about Krishna, which he did. He wrote one called My Sweet Lord that's very popular, and it has the Hare Krishna mantra in it. So, yeah, so he also visited here. Oh yeah, so now coming back to the Newsweek article. At the bottom was a photo of the procession on Juhu Beach and one of a devotee speaking at the foot of Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa-san. The caption read, "Spreading the Swami's word, a joyous procession on the beach, a devotee lecturing inside the temple room." At the front of the procession was a portable seat with a photo and a small brass deity of Srila Prabhupada. And standing near the deity, I was fanning him with a chamara yak-tail whisk. And the devotee preaching in the temple was Tamal Krishna. And at the front of the magazine was a small photo with the caption, "Barry came," and a Krishna follower, who was Gopal Krishna, and a preview of the main article. I thought of how perfectly Krishna, or Srila Prabhupada, had arranged everything. There I was, fanning Prabhupada, happy in my position as his simple servant. And there was Tamal Krishna sitting behind one of Prabhupada's books, his right arm extended, preaching forcefully on Prabhupada's behalf, his natural position. And Gopal Krishna, who always worked with the media, was shown with the reporter. It all seemed perfect. How happy Prabhupada would have been to see the coverage. How major news media were recognizing and appreciating his and ISKCON's progress. Quote, from rags to riches. End quote. I could just picture him smiling broadly, his eyes wide open, beaming with pleasure. Prabhupada had invested a great deal of faith and time and energy in his disciples, which inspired us to want to justify his faith and fulfill his hopes for us. Bombay is Giriraj and Giriraj is Bombay. He had said to encourage me. Quote, Bombay is like Kurukshetra and Giriraj is our Arjuna. Remembering his words, I felt humbled and missed him dearly. So that's the end of the body of the book. There's an epilogue, but I think for the sake of time we can end, and we basically covered the grand opening. I'll just read the very last paragraph. I'll read the last two. Prabhupada engaged us, his disciples, and so many others in devotional service authorized by the principles of Scripture and the instructions of previous spiritual masters. In developing Hare Krishna land, he did so on a grand scale. And after his departure, by his mercy, we were left with tremendous challenges of work and responsibility for our own spiritual benefit and for the benefit of all those who would associate with the temple. Along with Srila Prabhupada's desires as a preacher, he also had his personal commitment and service to Sri Sri Radharasa Bihari. Quote, my dear sir, he had told them, you just stand here and I will build you a temple. That's where we got the title of the book, I'll build you a temple. That was Srila Prabhupada's promise to Sri Sri Radharasa Bihari. Along with Srila Prabhupada's desires as a preacher, he also had his personal commitment and service to Sri Sri Radharasa Bihari. He had told them, my dear sir, you just stand here and I will build you a temple. What a struggle it was, but he did it. He fulfilled his promise. He built them a temple. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radharasa Bihari ki jai.
His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj ki jai. Maharaj, there is a message from His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj who wanted it to be read. Can you do it, Maharaj?
Sorry?
There is a message from His Holiness Gopala Krishna Goswami Maharaj and he wanted that message to be read here now.
Yes, please, by all means.
So, on this momentous occasion of the grand opening of Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Mandir, we are very, very fortunate to have the temple president at the time, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, reading his. Thank you, Maharaj. And also we actually were expecting His Holiness Gopalakrishna Goswami Maharaj. Every year he comes actually. So this year, due to some health reason, he was not able to come. So the GBC at the time, the GBC, Prabhupada appointed him the GBC for the entire India, the GBC of Juhu, and the BBT trustee, and he also played a major role along with Arjuna devotee. So Maharaj has sent a message, so I will read that message from His Holiness Gopalakrishna Goswami Maharaj. Dear devotees of the Radha Ras Bihari community, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today, we are celebrating the auspicious 45th anniversary of the installation of their lordships, Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari. We all know how Srila Prabhupada had to struggle to secure this property. The Radha Ras Bihari temple was formally inaugurated on January 14, 1978, in the presence of 4 ministers of Indian government and dignitaries from India and abroad. This inauguration event was even covered by the famous American magazine Newsweek. By Krishna's grace, I think I have been to almost every annual function. I was planning on attending this year's program also, but due to medical reasons, it will not be practical for me to travel to Juhu. I had encountered some injury on the left shoulder. The doctors say that the recovery time is usually 3 to 5 weeks, and they have advised me to minimize all travel during this period. If I do not move, the recovery time would be 2 to 3 weeks. If I move, there is a risk of dislocation. Therefore, I have to go to Delhi to consult the doctors who have been regularly treating me. I want to thank His Holiness Giriraj Swami, who played an important role in Prabhupada's ultimate victory. Also, obeisances to all devotees who have worked hard to build and maintain this beautiful project, heaven on earth. Srila Prabhupada had said that Bombay is his office, so it is our duty and the responsibility of all ISKCON officers to maintain and develop Srila Prabhupada's office. Gopal Krishna Goswami. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj ki.
So, my dear devotees, thank you for listening so patiently and attentively. Now, if any of you want to ask any questions or make any comments, share any reflections, you can raise your hand. Yes, Hanuman Prabhu. Hanuman Prabhu needs the microphone.
Hare Krishna. In the Pandharpur, there was a devotee, his name was Pundalika, and his mother, father were also devotee of Krishna, and he was serving mother, father, and Krishna was very pleased with him. And then Lord Krishna came personally, and then he gave one brick, and he said, my dear Lord, please stand. So he gave a brick, and then later on worship nicely, and Krishna is very much pleased. And he said, what benediction you want? He said, my dear Lord, you stand here just as you are standing now, and please deliver all the fallen souls all over the world. Hare Krishna.
Jai. Shri Vitoba Thakur ki Jai. Thank you.
make a brief announcement, Maharaj.
Sure.
So in the evening, there is important program of Maha Abhishek of all the deities on the all three altars, starting at 6 p.m. Haribol, Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari Ji ki, Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. And also after the Abhishek, there will be a program on the terrace, Heaven on Earth terrace, with starting with the IYF, youth devotees presenting Good Fight. There's a drama, Good Fight, 7:30. Sharp it will start, 7:30, followed by release of the Braille version of Bhagavad Gita as it is. It will be released on the terrace. Braille Bhagavad Gita, that will be released along with one more book by Sri Vijaya Prabhu. One more book will be released also, and followed by senior devotees, including His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, Narottam Prabhu, and Siddhartha Maharaj, His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu, Bhima Prabhu, and other senior, many other devotees will be also addressing about reading the books. And three more guests are also coming. There is a nice program. So the entry for the program is from the basement ramp, not from in front of the Haradas Prabhu's office. Basement ramp, because there will be a lot of crowd. Today is Sunday, like 1st January, huge crowd was there. So we don't want to make entry so that the crowd also follows. Indian mood. Somebody goes, you follow. So we want you to follow the Mahajanas. So Mahajanas enter from the basement ramp. So from the basement ramp, but the staircase will be the same staircase. You will be guided. Program is on the top terrace. And after the program, feast prasadam will be served around 9 o'clock. And the exit will be from the IPP staircase side, other side. So I request all the devotees to participate in the evening program. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Book is displayed, Maharaj book table. So also there is a book table of His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj's books. And especially I will build you a temple, momentous occasion. If you don't have the book or you want to give to a person, Maharaj will be happy to sign the book also. So please get your books. Also you are giving some free books for brahmacharis? No, okay. So books are on sale. So you get the book and get it signed. Thank you very much. Any questions? Please proceed.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have two small questions. First, it's been more than 40 years of this temple, 45. So how you mentioned each and every detail in this book. So how it's been more than 45 years. So how you did this thing, fulfill the instruction of Srila Prabhupada? How you mention every detail. It's been so many years. When I read Bhagavatam and another half hour I forget what I read. So
yeah, I worked on the book for 3 years, and I knew that I would have to write the book. After Mrs. Nair finally signed the conveyance, and the land went into Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON's name. Afterwards, Srila Prabhupada reclined on his bolster and he said, "It was a good fight. Someone should write a book about it." And then in Srila Prabhupada's last days in Vrindavan, he was recalling the Juhu saga, and he repeated, someone should write a book about it. It's history. It's worth writing. And many times he had told me that I should write, and I was the only devotee who had been intimately involved with the project from the beginning to the end. So I understood this was my service to write the book. And I mean, by Krishna's grace, I have a good memory. And also we have, the Bhaktivedanta Veda base, which has Srila Prabhupada's letters and morning walks, room conversations, lectures. So I was able to draw on those. And again, knowing that I would be writing, I interviewed a lot of devotees, and I got their recollections. And then, as I was in the process of writing, for example, I wrote to Mukunda Goswami, who was so involved in the publicity, and he provided the explanation of how he did the publicity. So, yeah, it was really a combined effort of many devotees' contribution.
And the second question is that, Maharaj, you joined this movement in 1969 and now it's 2023. So which thing, the thing which you motivate in so many years, you're doing service, what is the best thing you're motivating you?
The motivation for me to continue in service is Srila Prabhupada, my faith in Srila Prabhupada, and you could say attachment for Srila Prabhupada. That's definitely my main motivation. Fairly early on in my devotional career, I had a conversation with Tamal Krishna Goswami in Calcutta, and he impressed upon me the point that the secret of success in spiritual life is to serve the spiritual master and please the spiritual master. And so after that, it was there to serve Srila Prabhupada, but everything was there. Chanting 16 rounds was there, reading the books was there, preaching was there, everything was there. But after that conversation with Tamal Krishna Goswami, my focus was Srila Prabhupada, serving and pleasing him. And that, his love, his reciprocation, his mercy is what has been sustaining me all these years.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can you please tell us when exactly Radha Raspberry came here in the Hare Krishna land, the date or some tithi?
Yes, Sri Sri Radharasa Bihari we had a rented apartment on Warden Road, now called Bulabai Desai Road, in a building called Akash Ganga. And when we got the land, Srila Prabhupada, you could say, sort of inaugurated it by having a Pandal program. The Pandal was at the front of the property where the temple is now. And Sri Sri Radharasa Bihari were brought by taxi from the Akash Ganga building to Hare Krishna land. And then they were placed on the stage during Srila Prabhupada's Pandal program. I'll see, I have a timeline. I'll see if it's mentioned in the timeline, the exact date. Well, a few events are combined. March 17th to 31st, devotees bring Radharasa Bihari from Akash Ganga building to a pandal on the Juhu land, now called Hare Krishna land. Cornerstone laying ceremony for new temple. Prabhupada appoints Giriraj president of ISKCON Bombay. So it looks like around March 17th or so. Any other? Yes, yes, microphone.
हिंदी में क्वेश्चन करूँगा, चलेगा? कोई ट्रांसलेट कर देगा क्या? जैसा कि हम लोग फील करते हैं कि प्रभुपाद जी का लेक्चर सुनते हैं तो हमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है, पर जैसे कि आप महाराज और बाकी जो प्रभुपाद जी के डिसाइपल्स हैं, उनको कैसा फील होता था प्रभुपाद जी के साथ रह के? तो मतलब जैसे कि एक गुरु और शिष्य के बीच में जो रिलेशन रहता है वो कैसा रहता था? मतलब शिष्य कैसा फील करता है एकदम मतलब अपने गुरु के साथ में रह के?
Just like being new fights when we... He's asking that how the disciples of Srila Prabhupada feel when they hear lectures of Srila Prabhupada.
और उनके साथ में रह के भी.
And how they feel by personally associating with Srila Prabhupada.
Yeah, we like to hear Srila Prabhupada speak as much as possible. Generally, unless I have a guest for lunch, but when I'm at my ashram in California, I listen to Srila Prabhupada speak. And yeah, as far as personal interactions, I happen to have many, but Srila Prabhupada also had disciples who had very little personal interaction with him, but still they are sustained by his mercy, by his guidance, by his love. And I've heard accounts from devotees, just by one glance they feel that Srila Prabhupada spoke volumes to them. Or just by one or two words they felt that Srila Prabhupada said so much to them. So even today, I mean, devotees can get, of course, they can get Srila Prabhupada's guidance and mercy. And yeah, it's not dependent on his physical presence. And he is our founder Acharya. He's the foundational Shiksha Guru for all devotees in ISKCON. We're all under Srila Prabhupada's protection and guidance. And we should, develop our relationship with him to the fullest extent. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you so much. There's one small question to you. You struggled a lot to build this temple, Maharaj, and you endeavored so much. Now we are youth enjoying this wonderful facility and considering the facility given by Prabhupada. What is your special instruction to upcoming devotees and upcoming youth special to carry this movement to Srila Prabhupada?
Well, our basic principle is to taste Krishna consciousness and share Krishna consciousness. So we should be very sincere and serious in our spiritual practices so that we relish Krishna consciousness, and then we should share Krishna consciousness with others. Once I was staying with Vaisheshika Prabhu at his home in Burlingame, California. He chose the location because it was near the San Francisco airport, and he could conveniently go to the airport and distribute books. So I went through his morning program with him, and it was very blissful. I mean, many of the things we do in our temples and we do in our homes, but he did them with great enthusiasm and relish. And then afterwards, he spoke to me about his the book that he was writing, which now has been published as Our Family Business. And he said that one of the themes of his book was that the enthusiasm to preach and distribute books should come from the overflow of the ecstasy we feel from our spiritual practices. So the two go together. As Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, the best Gostiyanandi, you know that term, Gostiyanandi and Bhajananandi? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said the best Gostiyanandi is a Bhajananandi who preaches. So the two go together. Our preaching will enhance our spiritual practices, and our spiritual practices will enhance our preaching. There's one hand up here.
Krishna Maharaj, so if possible, can you take the pain of explaining how Radha Rasbihari 45 years ago, like how did they look like? Few lines if possible.
Oh, what did Radharasa Bihari look like?
Yes.
Well, if you see the pictures, it seems that with time, they're smiling more and they gained a little weight. From all the nice offerings.
Hare Krishna. Can you please explain who gave this Radha Rasbihari to Srila Prabhupada?
Yes, that's a nice question. So there's a big industrialist in Bombay then named Seth R.D. Birla. And Seth Birla donated, I think, 6 pairs of white marble Radha Krishna deities. One pair is Shri Shri Radha Rasa Bihari, one pair is Radha Govinda in Calcutta. And yeah, so they were actually a donation from the Birla family. Nice service they did.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you very much for the wonderful class. Maharaj Prabhupada says that if you want to look Krishna, then you go to Radha Rasbihari Bombay and then see. So like what is the incident behind that, like when Prabhupada was saying this?
What did he say? If you want to
look Krishna, how he looks basically, you go to Bombay and see Radha Ras Bihari.
Well, that's nice.
In what context Prabhupada was saying that? Like,
Oh,
is there
I didn't hear that before. I don't know the context, but yeah. But he did on many occasions speak about how beautiful Radharasa Bihari are. And he would carry a picture of Radharasa Bihari with him wherever he went in the world. He would carry that picture with him. And it's now in Vrindavan, in his room in Vrindavan, because that's where he ended his pastimes. Yeah. And there's a nice, it sort of summarizes the situation with Srila Prabhupada and Radharasa Bihari. There's a chapter in Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita by Satsvarupa Das Goswami, traveling the world and thinking of Radharasa Bihari.
हरे कृष्ण महाराज जी, बहुत सुंदर क्लास महाराज जी। महाराज जी मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा, राम हरे प्रभु ट्रांसलेट करूँगा। महाराज जी, अगर हमें कोई व्यक्ति पूछते हैं कि गोलोक वृंदावन में कृष्ण कैसे दिखते हैं तो उनको हमें क्या जवाब देना चाहिए?
If someone asks us how Krishna looks in Golok Vrindavan, so what should we reply?
They should come and see Shri Shri Radharasa Bihari. Any other questions? Yes?
Hare Krishna, Maharaj ji.
Oh.
If you don't mind, will you please narrate few reciprocations from Sri Radha Ras Bihari which you have personally experienced?
Narrate a few.
If you don't mind.
With Radha Ras Bihari which you have personally experienced.
A few.
Your reciprocations with Radha Ras Bihari.
Oh. Well, when Srila Prabhupada got the Juhu land, I was in Calcutta, and Srila Prabhupada had sort of asked me where I wanted to serve between Calcutta, Madras, and Bombay. But eventually it came to me that I should come to Bombay. And then when I got here, I mean, my idea was to look after the life members. But when I got here, Srila Prabhupada appointed me the temple president, which was not my idea. And he said, now the whole responsibility is on you, which I already felt bad, and that made me feel worse. And then he left. We saw him off at the airport, and I came back to Radharasa Bihari, and I prayed to them that how will I do this? I can only do this if you guide me and inspire me by Srila Prabhupada's grace. So, and His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami said that we often hear of devotees performing austerities for the sake of the deities. But in Juhu, Hare Krishna land,
Hare Krishna Maharaj ji, Dandavat Pranam.
So Tamal Krishna Goswami said, we often hear of devotees doing austerities for the sake of the deities. But in Juhu, Hare Krishna land, the deities did austerities for the sake of the devotees. Yes, microphone.
Hare Krishna Maharaj ji, Dandavat Pranam. मैं लीलामृत में पढ़ा था, जब ही ये लैंड जो है हरे कृष्णा लैंड में बहुत से भक्त बिल्डर ने बहुत परेशान किया और आपने बहुत साहस और बहुत कष्ट से इस मंदिर का आपने बनवाया। आज हम सब उसका जो आनंद ले रहे हैं, तो हमको क्या करना चाहिए जिससे आपको आनंद मिले?
Maharaj, you did so much struggle to build this Hare Krishna land. Now what should we do so that we can bring pleasure to you while serving on this land?
As I mentioned, in general, taste Krishna consciousness and distribute it. Srila Prabhupada wrote me one letter. Go on increasing books and go on increasing my pleasure. So he was very pleased when devotees distributed his books. So Prabhupada will be pleased. That means I will also be pleased if you distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. And be happy in Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Where? Oh yes.
It is excellent revelations of your inner heart. It is nothing beyond our consciousness thought that nothing is possible in Krishna consciousness. You made it happen, like Prabhuji says, 45 years, still vibrant mood in Radha Rasbihari makes it as more connected to Radha Rasbihari than before. I came here 15 years after. In middle I came for 1 day, 2 days, never I stayed for a long time. But staying here I may feel more connected, intense my association with devotees and especially with Radha Rasbihari. I was thinking, is that the same mood you have, or you may be more intensely served Prabhupada and Radha Rasbihari. What is your mood at this time?
My mood is to serve Srila Prabhupada and Sri Radha Rasa Bihari and all the devotees. As I mentioned, Srila Prabhupada instructed that I should write. I should take up writing as my first business. And so I've finished a manuscript for another book about traveling with Srila Prabhupada in India before Juhu. And that covers, we arrived in Bombay, but then soon thereafter we went to Amritsar. So Amritsar, Delhi, Indore, Surat, Gorakhpur, Allahabad, Madras, Calcutta, and Mayapur. So the book is written, the manuscript is written, and I have 4 editors who look at my work. So 3 of them, Kalachandji Das, Vishaka Priya Dasi, and Nikunja Vilasini Dasi, they have seen it. And the 4th one, Madhurika Dasi, now has the manuscript, so she'll go through it. And after she goes through it, I may send it to a few others just for more like proofreading, but basically the editing would be done. And then I have to choose the photos to go in the book. So yeah, I'm looking forward to publishing that book. Yes?
Hare Krishna Maharaj Ji, thank you so much for the beautiful lecture. And I wanted to ask, during the opening of the temple, Prabhupada was not physically present with all the devotees, but throughout the process, devotees had personal association and physical presence of Prabhupada. So, but at the time of inauguration or exact opening, he was not physically present here. So, devotees might be missing, and what was your feelings and mood at that time, Maharaj Ji? Your personal mood?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wished Prabhupada could have been present to see it. Was the fulfillment of his life's work in one sense. But we did feel his presence. And as he wrote in the dedication to his Srimad Bhagavatam of his spiritual master, dedicated to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. So that's our motto, how we serve in separation. He lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him.
Thank you, Maharaj Ji. Thank you.
There is a question from online, Maharaj. Online viewers are questioning. One question.
Okay.
Did one question from Mukunda Datta Prabhu. Did Srila Prabhupada stay in Sea Face Park? Sea Face Park is, so did he stay, and how long he stayed, which year?
Yes, Srila Prabhupada did stay at Sea Face Park, which was originally called Muffatlal Park on Warden Road, because we didn't have a proper place here for some time because there is so many complications to get the land and then to get permission to build. So he did stay there, and sometimes he stayed with Kartikeya Mahadevya, but Kartikeya Mahadevya had a brother, Kumudchandra Mahadevya, who had a vacant flat in the same colony, Sea Face Park, and so sometimes Srila Prabhupada and the devotees stayed there. And Srila Prabhupada spent a long time, months, and he gave a series of Nectar of Devotion classes at Sea Face Park. Yeah, a lot happened at Sea Face Park.
Which year, Maharaj? Which year it could be?
Oh, that would have been 71. Oh no, it actually went on till 73 when we had the second Bombay Pondo. Yeah. Yes. Can we get microphone for Dhanvantari Prabhu?
I was busy with my seva and simultaneously I'm hearing your class. I don't miss each word, single word. But every word I'm enjoying. Your class, every word I'm enjoying.
Everyone's enjoying. Oh, joining in by while doing seva. All right, nice.
Today morning, one lady standing outside, I called twice or thrice, Mangalati. She didn't give any answer. Again, while going, she's still standing there only. Why don't you come? I don't know, Krishna is busy with some other gopis. I don't know, disturb him. Then lady said, so okay, now you come, I will do this as something very important, like what? Where now membership open. I always tell everybody membership open, not closed, it's open. Then she said, please explain me. And I explained nicely. Are you accepting credit card? Card is okay, money should be there. Otherwise, I'm not able to make your identity card. No, money is there. And she took identity card. But I asked her, what is name? My surname is Day. Then I remembered Prabhupada's father's Day, no? Surname?
Yeah.
There's our founder Acharya Day. You also Day. You are very, very merciful to our founder Acharya and their family today. Then after that, our husband is somewhere else here. She called me several times and no response. Finally he came. Then I took him to my office and she told, I took membership today. It's very good, very good. Then I said, you also take on membership. Now my wife she took all the membership. See, everybody is individual. Coming, we are not coming together, we are not going together. But you take one take food, one for you. Okay. So today, two members, Mr. Day, surname Day. And I said, that time immediately mind is saying, Prabhupada's father is Day. Correct? Prabhupada's father is Day, no?
Yes.
Then you remember Prabhupada's name is Day, today I made 2 day, but good day. And one more thing, I am detachment with Maya, I am attached with only membership. I am detachment with Maya, attachment with only membership. And one more thing, small thing, many people telling, why you are doing only membership? Life from some life after play, only life membership, nothing else. And life is temporary, life membership compulsory. Because Prabhupada, he struggled to make this temple, still my mind, same thing, I'll do only membership. I don't bother any other seva. I want only membership until my last breathing and preaching. Please tell me, I can do last breathing and preaching, Maharaj?
I will pray for you.
Maharaj, today's date, 15, no? I made 17 members, still 14 left over for this. Every year I'll make 31 days, 31 members. My authorities, Brajari knows, Mukund Madhav, everybody knows. But last year also, 90 days I made 101 members. I'm not glorifying myself. I'm telling this is a Sankirtan message. Life may miss for Sankirtan message, no?
Yeah.
So now, still many people lined up. today also 4 more people are coming. One person he came now September. I written when he met him. Then he said today I'll come. See, the membership is very many of my life members they initiated now.
Wonderful.
Because cultivating is not and preaching is hearing properly. That is now going on. I'll do my seva continuously, Maharaj. Please bless me.
Jai.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I got some gift from Vrindavan. Can I show you?
Yeah, I mentioned book distribution. Srila Prabhupada said that he devised the life membership program as a way of distributing his books.
Maharaj, 1 minute. Last year, according to my knowledge, my 140 members, 100 Bhagavatam set went out. 140 members I made last year.
Congratulations. Oh, good.
And 140 Bhagavatam plus additional books, they went out. That membership coming from all over India, not only Bombay. Ahmedabad, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Bengal, and Chhattisgarh, Indore, Delhi, many places, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra also. Okay, Maharaj.
Jai.
There's some gifts came from Vrindavan. I want to honor them. From Radha Rama temple.
Okay. You want to announce it? You want to announce it?
No.
Okay. All right. So, again, thank you for listening so patiently and attentively and for asking such good questions. Okay, more questions?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I want to ask, sometime we lost our control in our mind and we shout to others when we are wrong, but we prove to ourselves that we are correct. So how we control our mind at that time?
You mean you're wrong to lose your temper?
Yes.
Well, I mean, when you feel anger is coming upon you, I think you should take a deep breath. And Srila Prabhupada said when you're angry, you should think of Lord Nrsingadev. So I think just think of Lord Nrsingadev and yeah, it's not good to get angry, especially with devotees, but even with any other person, it's not good to get angry. Krishna says in the Gita, lust, greed, and anger they open the gates to hell. So you don't want to go to hell. So, yeah.
Okay, there is announcement from Raga Goswami Prabhu. Before that, reminder, we will meet at 6 p.m. for the Maha Abhishek of Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Ji, Sri Sri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, and Sri Sri Gaurnitai.
Haribo!
And 7:30 p.m. on the terrace for the launch of Braille version of Bhagavad Gita as it is, and talk by senior devotees, and feast prasad. 7:30 p.m. on the terrace. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you for a wonderful satsang today. It has enhanced our hearts to do more service to Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari. On behalf of Radharaman, Sri Sri Radharaman Vrindavan, I got a shawl. On behalf of all the Vaishnavas from Radha Ras Bihari, I am also old ex-fellow man of Radha Ras Bihari. I am staying in South India with Guru Maharaj blessings. I am continuing to serve the Prabhupada mission very nicely. Please allow me to serve on your behalf. A shawl from Radharaman. Sri Sri Radharaman ki, His Holiness Giriraj Maharaj ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.
His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Bhagavan ki, Sri Sri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Sri Sri Gaunitai ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.
All right, so again, thank you for joining us on this auspicious occasion. I hope you'll be able to come back later for the Abhishek and Satsang and Prasad. And now you're free, and I'll be here to sign books if any of you want to take books. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Rasa Bihari ki jai.
आइए हम महाराज जी का धन्यवाद देते हैं जोरदार हरे